The New York City restaurant, 11 Madison Park, is one of the best in the world. It has 3 Michelin stars. There are about 130 restaurants in the world, with 3 stars from the famous French guide. A meal at 11 Madison Park for 2 people with wine costs about $1,000. And when the restaurant reopens on June 10th, after the year-long pandemic, it will not serve meat, fish, or other animal products. Owner and chef Daniel Hume recently told the U.S. radio broadcaster NPR that the restaurant will be 100% plant-based. He said the way people eat meat is not sustainable, and that is not an opinion. This is just a fact. Hume also said he will not serve butter or cheese. He will, however, offer honey and milk to go with tea and coffee. Epicurious is a website that centers on food and cooking. In late April, the site announced that it will not write about beef or cooking instructions for meals with beef. The move, it said, is an effort to encourage more sustainable cooking. Raising cows for beef, the site said, led to more greenhouse gas than feeding other animals or planting vegetables for food. Researchers at Tulane University in New Orleans, Louisiana, agree. In a 2019 study, they wrote that food production causes about 25% of the world's carbon pollution. They suggested that if Americans would eat chicken instead of beef for just 1 meal per day, they could reduce pollution by about half. The question is, will other restaurants follow in the footsteps of a famous place like 11 Madison Park? Nevin Martell is a food writer in Washington, D.C. He told VOA that 11 Madison Park is special.
They've always done things a little bit differently, and I think that this is a big, bold move for them, but I also think that they're positioning themselves at the right time to be doing the right thing, and I don't think it's as much of a risk as people might think that it is.
Martell added that people do not come to 11 Madison Park to eat meat. They come for a once-in-a-lifetime experience. He does not think the change will keep people from coming to the restaurant. Haidar Karoum is the chef at Chloe, a Washington, D.C. restaurant. The restaurant serves meat, chicken, fish, and vegetables based on what items are available in different times of the year. Recently, he said customers have been more interested in vegetables.
Vegetarian dishes have become far more popular than they were, let's say, 10 years ago. So because of that, because of customer demand, and just for the sake that I actually like cooking vegetarian things, if you looked at the menu, you'll find a lot of options for vegetables.
But that does not mean he could make Chloe's menu vegetarian overnight. 11 Madison Park can, Karoum said, because the New York restaurant is so famous that people are willing to travel the world just to eat in the restaurant, regardless of the cuisine. Karoum feels he has some responsibility to help the environment. He works with a cheesemaker in Pennsylvania, about 2 hours from Washington, to transport cheese, apples, pork, and honey from different places to the restaurant. That helps reduce the amount of pollution Chloe adds to the environment. Even if restaurants cannot change their offerings completely, like 11 Madison Park, Martel suggests that they can still find ways to reduce their pollution and waste. Increase meatless and vegetarian offerings. It's something people are more and more interested in and willing to pay more money for, he said. Rethink takeout. The takeout culture that expanded during the pandemic has an outsized environmental impact, Martel said. Make sure diners know what steps are being taken to reduce pollution and waste. If you can communicate the programs you've put in place, some diners will appreciate it, and some diners will pay more for it because they'll feel good about themselves when they are at the restaurant. Almost 1.5 years into the coronavirus pandemic, most restaurants are just trying to stay in business. As a result, Martel said, reopening a place that people have been craving for 14 months and then not giving them what they've wanted for 14 months is also a tough thing to ask of a restaurateur.